welcome to another edition of the Talk to the Mayor program. I'm Steve Parker. He's your mayor, Roy Zatarian. But you know, it's funny. We really didn't have any idea when you were coming back.
Neither did I.
And I have to admit, it was getting a little disturbing because if I had to look at Dave Nagel one more time, I was running out of things to say.
That's a terrible thing to say about Dave Nagel.
No, Dave's a wonderful guy. He was just like, he wouldn't, he wasn't giving me the same kind of juice that you can give me all the time.
I see.
Welcome back.
Well, it's good to be back.
Let
me tell you.
Quite a long haul there, huh?
It was in the custody of the medical profession for far too long.
Really?
So, but to put to rest all the gossip and the rumors, no, it was not a stroke. No, it was not cancer. No, it was not gender reassignment surgery.
I didn't want to go there.
But
you're
back.
okay. I see. You're a little bit of your legs wrapped up there.
Around, using a walker, but getting there slowly but surely with therapy.
So now what is it? What have you stepped into? No pun intended. Since you got back, I mean, what are you? What's going on? I mean, you got a lot of stuff to catch up on, or was was Dave keeping you in the loop on a lot of the stuff?
Oh yeah. We were on the phone almost every day.
Really?
And I checked my town email every day. Say, gee, I'm glad I'm not there.
Yeah, things have been pretty wild, huh?
Things have been wild. We got hit this year.
Yeah.
Our grand list came out. It is lower than last year by about 0.2%. Big reason was last year was revaluation, new property values assigned, court challenges, and there are a number of cases where the finding was in favor of the plaintiff, not the town, which resulted in lower assessments. So that's going to make the upcoming budget process a real challenge. Last year, or rather for this year, we were able to keep things, keep the mill rate at about the same. I'm not going to hazard any predictions at this point as to what will happen, other than it's going to be a very tough year. People have read the current article on the governor's proposed budget, the online version anyway, where there was a chart as to what towns would be getting in terms of state grants and revenues. Would go right to Newington and see that we were getting approximately $180,000 more than last year, or more than this year. But my feeling is that's all smoke and mirrors, because that's depending on the repeal of the exemption for hospital properties. The state's calculations show we're getting a chunk of change from tax revenue from hospital properties in town, but that hasn't passed yet, so we have to wait and see what happens there.
All right. Well, we tried to make it easy for you tonight because we knew this was your first time back in the last 2 or 3 months. And we sat down, we had a couple of meetings here, and we kind of tossed it around a little bit. And, of course,
Did you give me a big raise?
Well, we just, we decided we looked high and low. Right. We wanted to, we knew that we weren't going to be able to help you, but we do know that there's always some sort of positive things happening out in town. So we went back and forth on a few emails with the gang here at NCTV, and the mayor was always sending emails back and forth about different ideas, because the mayor takes quite an active hand in putting the program together, so no matter what happens, it's generally his fault. So,
blame me, why not?
With this being the time of year that everybody starts thinking about spring, the mayor said, well, geez, maybe we should do something with the golf course, with the country club. Indian Hill's been around a long time. Maybe we should talk about, some things that are going on there. So if you are just tuning in right now, we are doing the program a little bit earlier. We've decided to go to 7 o'clock and do from 7 to 8, back where we always did it for years that way. And now with the multiple ways that people watch the program, a lot of it is being, done online. A lot of people have, they may have Frontier, or they may have this. There's so many different ways that you can watch the program now. We realize that a lot of the people are strictly just, going for it on demand whenever they want to sit back and watch it. Because all of our shows live online on Channel 14. They never go away. So no matter what happens, they're still here. So, anyways, we decided that we would try to move the program back a little bit to make it. Well, you know, a lot of times we don't get out of here till the very late hours, so we want to go a little bit easier. So Steve doesn't keep falling asleep. But anyways, so this is our first program with our mayor back, Roy Zartarian, and we are really looking forward to having him here for a while, and hopefully he'll make it through the entire program tonight. I know your voice has been a little bit scratchy.
Yeah.
But this being February, and it's the second. Just to make it more confusing, it's the second Monday in February instead of the first.
That's right. we had a joint meeting, Town Council Board of Education, on the first Monday. One of those out of the ordinary scheduling things, so we couldn't do the show.
So why would there be a joint meeting like that?
There were budget issues to be
Okay.
discussed, and that's what it was.
So it's not that often that you
No,
folks come together.
no. It was the board's meeting. Council was there, and we discussed some things.
Did we also tape that show? Is that something that, or is that a behind closed doors?
A big part of the show was an executive session, so the opening and possibly the closing went out, and the rest didn't. So
what we're going to do?
what are we going to do?
Well,
I've forgotten. I have to be retrained.
Like we used to do in the old days. We try to have guests in wherever
Absolutely.
we can. And then what we'll do is for the first half or three-quarters of the show, we'll be speaking with our guest that you brought along, and also then we'll open it up at the end of the show if you have any questions. And the mayor and I will wrap things up talking about some of the.
Give out the phone number too, in case anybody wants to call.
You can't call now.
Why not?
Because we're talking to these people.
Oh, all right.
It's like,
well,
you know,
maybe they have questions for that.
Oh, they won't, Mr. Mayor, they won't be able to hear the questions. So let's.
Okay. Well, they don't have
And
your
actually,
phones.
what's our phone status doing? How we doing with our phone lines tonight? I know there were some technical issues that we were dealing with, so we want to make sure that we have all that squared away. But one thing you can always count on is you can also send us an email at talktothemayor@nctv.org. Talk to the mayor at nctv.org. All right, Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
we went
sir.
out over the top this time. We're coming into springtime, hopefully in
We're coming
March.
into spring,
People are
yeah.
thinking about golf. So you
Yes.
brought in the country club. You brought in a brand new
Well,
proprietor of the new restaurant.
And we have some exciting things happening at Indian Hill.
Okay, who are our guests tonight?
We have Ed Johnson, president of Indian Hill, with us.
Hi, Ed.
And
Nice to be
Louise Albin, who is behind the Cafe Louise, the new food service at Indian Hill.
Boy, I love her green though. That's a beautiful color.
Getting ready for
Thank
St.
you.
Patrick's Day.
Yeah, even though it's Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Still do that? Yeah, that's right. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
So,
That's right.
what's happening at Indian Hill?
Tell us a little bit about, if you could,
We-
like
we
the
know-
history, where we are today, where it came from. It's one of the oldest
my
golf
earpiece
courses
keeps
around, right?
falling off, and I'm
Well,
going.
let me start by thanking you, Mayor, for having us. And
Oh,
Steve,
our
it's
pleasure.
nice meeting you and being here. There are tremendous things going on at Indian Hill, and first of all, I'd like to say how much we appreciate the working relationship that we have with the town of Newington, not only the leadership, but with the residents as well. And we hope it evolves into a nice working partnership, such as the one we have with Louise Albin and Cafe Louise. Indian Hill's been around since, I think, 1896. It was a sequin golf course.
Oh, yeah.
It was part of the Eddy Farm property. I think it was in 1962 that the town actually orchestrated a purchase of the property from some people who owned pieces of it, who owned bonds related to it. It was very interesting. It went through the University of Hartford because it had to be done through a not-for-profit organization, not at University of Hartford, and there were some connections there. And so at this point, I think that purchase serves everybody very, very well, because it's 138 acres of pristine land that's open space, that's well cared for by a tremendous superintendent, and the golf course is run by a PGA professional. Mark Weston is the superintendent. Wayne Smith is the head golf professional. Couldn't find a better team to run the operations there. And we look at the golf course as a living organism rather than just a piece of grass. You know, there's lots of things going on. There's lots of wildlife there. In fact, we're Audubon certified because of our green approach to environmentally sensitive use of chemicals. We have bluebird houses and lots of other things out there, wildlife, fox all over the place. But it's not just a static piece of property. It requires tremendous effort, tremendous observation. Even during the snowstorm, the superintendent was out trucking around to make sure there weren't any trees that had fallen down. There was one, but not a big problem. And to make sure that the greens and the fairways are safe. And the conditions can change in a matter of hours, as you might well imagine, in terms of the greens and the ice. But one of the best things that's happened to us in the last 5 years is Louise. I know this
Classing the
is,
place up a little bit, huh?
well, I know this isn't a religious program, but I believe there's been some divine intervention in bringing Louise to Indian Hill Country Club. As you probably recall, Indian Hill Grill Room is a public restaurant.
Yep.
It's always been open to the public. But now we have a renovated...
Food in it. No.
and now there's actually food in it.
We actually have
it's
food.
good food. But there's a Metacomet room, which is going to be renamed with a very special restaurant name. And Louise is going to have a upscale public restaurant there. So the members,
good.
as well as the town residents and anybody from around the area, can enjoy it. In fact, this Thursday, the Chamber of Commerce is having a ribbon cutting there.
Really?
And everyone's invited to come.
Yes,
That's right.
as well as our first art opening. We're doing
Right.
rotating art exhibits every 2 months.
Oh,
And the
so-
first artist is Ann Bjorklund from South Windsor,
Okay.
with some beautiful landscape art. And we've been doing lots of renovations. The grill room, which I started calling when we first moved in the man cave.
Ah, yes.
So,
Yes.
so we've made it a little more female friendly and just a little warmer. There's some furniture in it, like
Now,
sofas.
where is the grill room? Is that the little room off to the side, or is it
In the
downstairs?
downstairs.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah. We added a pool table. We have darts. There was already ping pong there, so we're hoping to make it, more fun, casual, come for some great food, as well as stay and play some games. And then upstairs in the Metacomet, we've completely redone that, and it's
Excuse me,
beautiful.
where does that name come from, Metacomet?
Metacomet is an Indian name.
Indian.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a Metacomet Trail.
And that will be, yes, a little more upscale restaurant that we've decided to call, since I'm French background, I was a French major in college, La Colline, which means the hill in
Oh, okay.
French.
Okay.
So, and it'll sort of be my slogan for the 24 years that I've been in business in the area has been eclectic gourmet foods. And so we tend to draw from different cuisines, not just focus on French or Asian, or, we sort of blend different things together. And I just love the way that is, because I like trying new tastes and adding new.
Have you set hours of operation yet? Or is that evolving?
It's evolving, given that it's the dead of winter.
Yeah.
So
Is it open?
not quite yet.
Okay.
We've done a few test runs with the club membership, but we're hoping, especially the grill room, to open for happy hour starting as soon as possible.
Now, is
if
the
it
grill
stops
room
snows.
is that part strictly members, or can also...
No.
No,
that is.
all
See,
open.
I've always thought that was the hoo-hoo-hoo that's down in the grill room.
Well, and
I didn't know
if
that.
you extrapolate it a little bit, as far as the golf opportunities there, the Newington town residents have tremendous access to the golf course itself. Monday mornings at 6:30, the parking lot is full of seniors. The
Not in February, it's not.
Well,
If there
you
is,
give
we got a
them-
problem.
As soon as it opens, they'll be there.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
residents, the seniors pay $50 a year, and they play free every
Wow.
Monday. Newington Town residents pay $25 a year, and they pay a reduced greens fee, and they can play on Mondays, Tuesday afternoons, sometime on Saturday afternoons and Sunday afternoons. So there's a lot of misconceptions about how accessible the course is. Of course, we've worked together with the town over the last several years to open it up. We understand one another a little better. We understand the mutually beneficial agenda that we're working on. and it's very exciting. We've had a spurt of membership growth over the past year and a half.
Good.
And it's continuing. The phone's already ringing. So we've added 6 new members this week.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Why don't we, before we go much further, let's take a look at some of the photos that we have down below us here. And if you guys can, and ladies, can please tell us what we're looking at. Bring the camera down, and let's see. Okay. So I'm having a hard time seeing them because they're behind it. Guys, can you give me a clean shot of that, please? Okay, hang on. I think I heard somebody saying that. Everybody's yelling in the other room. Hang on. Anyways, we do have some pictures there. And, oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go.
There we
Bet you
go.
that's the golf course.
That's the 14th hole of Indian Hill Country Club. We call it our signature hole. You'll find a lot of my golf balls in the water by the bridge there, but it's beautiful. You go way up in an elevated tee, and you go to this wonderful green over the brook, and it's just a picture-perfect hole, match up to any hole. And the golf course, as a matter of fact, is so pristine, we'll match it against any course in New England.
Really?
The greens have a fabulous reputation, and anybody that's played there will say they don't come any better.
Well, that's great. What else have we got, fellas? Okay. Ooh, there you
That's
go.
just a little picture of the facility. To the left on the screen there is a gazebo where people have gotten married, and they set up right out in front of the patio there, have the ceremony outside, and then go inside for a wonderful reception. That's the patio is under the green awning there in the summertime. It's busy. There's people out there having dinner and cocktails.
And cocktails, yeah.
And then on the right is the new, I can't pronounce the French name.
La Colline.
La Colline
Think of
restaurant.
Colline.
It's the Medicament room. It's been all redone, beautiful colors, and I think Louise brought some
There's some pictures
photos of
also.
that too. So we'll see those in a minute.
Have we got now those photos on there also? Okay. I'm just waiting here. Well, guys, when you get the pictures of the restaurant, we'll take a look at that. All right. So now, how many people can the restaurant hold?
I would say the restaurant holds easily 40.
Okay. And that's as you go through the door. That's off to the
Immediately
right.
to the right.
Okay.
Yes.
And now
okay.
the rest of it is like for the banquets and the weddings and all that.
Oh,
on the left.
there we
The
go.
beautiful
There we
ballroom.
go.
So this is actually the grill room, and
Nice.
with construction in process,
Mm-hmm.
where it was all the wallpaper that you see on top. The plaid, the green plaid on the very top before the ceiling, the whole room was wallpapered that.
Really?
So I decided to keep just a little bit of it and
Yeah.
then lighten it up, so we painted it like an off-white.
So, what kind of food will I find in the grill room?
So-
Burgers and what?
Grill room
Burgers.
food, Steve. Grill
Yes,
room food.
some nice,
Thank you very much.
some nice salads, some some nice noshing platters of, like antipasta, meats
Okay.
and cheeses and things. Our chef, David Tolley, has created a menu that has 18 items, so it has the front 9 and the back 9.
Okay, beautiful. Like that. I like that. Good. Now, and where's our? how many people can we hold in the grill room?
Grill room, I would say also, I think around 40.
Yeah, 40 to 50.
And then there's the patio outside with lovely tables during the summer too. So we're hoping to have live music from time to time out there and really encourage people from the town to use that as a destination place to come for lunch, bring clients for lunch, come for cocktails. We're going to have happy hours. Hoping to start soon too, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday nights. Definitely during high season of the summer, we plan on being open 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So
And we don't know how late you'll be open then or anything.
we're thinking between 8 and 9.
Okay. Okay.
So
they won't
after
be able
people
to
get off the golf course
get
and
hammered and go out there and play golf in the dark, like 11:30, 12 o'clock. It's not going to be allowed, huh?
Gosh, that never happened as far as I know.
I've told everybody, having grown up on that course, I've done everything else out there except the game.
Not everybody plays golf the way you do.
Oh, yeah. When we were kids, you went sliding out there.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
back in the day, you could go snowmobiling in the early 60s. You could do that out there. That was where, oh, my gosh, we played out there all the time. I was thrown off of there a few times. Almost went to the police.
Well, we would hope there's no more snowmobiling on the
Yeah.
course. But the big hill behind the clubhouse
Yep.
is very busy this week. It's full of kids,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's a
Was over
great
the
hill.
weekend.
It's safe, and it's just a lot of fun.
I've seen some crazy things back there. Yep, it can get, some of those kids, you got to keep a good eye on them. Cause,
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
can
for
remember
sure.
when we were kids, they would build jumps back there. Kids would go straight down on their skis. It was crazy, but it is an excellent hill to go sliding on. The one I do miss, though, is on Willard Avenue, because we had, when we were kids, that was Bunker Hill. And you could go sliding there at night. Remember that? And you could. It was all lit up, and you'd park along Willard Avenue, and everybody would go in there up until probably 9 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And you could slide anytime.
Fun.
But now, insurance and all that kind of
it's
stuff.
tough.
Sure,
Yeah,
it's
you have
gotta
to limit what you
protect
can
the
do.
fairways, protect the greens.
Yes.
From, even though there's a snow cover, I imagine
You
it
can do
gets down
damage.
to damage.
Yeah. Now, do you get out? Do you ever get out on the links? Do you play golf at all?
No, I shouldn't say it, but I take Mark Twain's view that golf is a perfectly nice walk spoil.
So have you go out in there and look at the wildlife?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I know you're a big
yeah.
birder.
Yeah, it's one of the few places in town one can find rusty blackbirds for the Christmas bird count.
Good, and they're
that
great
means a
eating.
lot.
If you could have them there at the restaurant, they're really
Yeah.
good rusty blackbirds. What?
That's right.
What was the pretty bird? I thought it was a pileated woodpecker, but it was not.
It was a
looked
northern flicker.
Oh, yeah.
We had
beautiful.
a northern flicker, and two of them, as a matter of fact, last week.
Last week, we saw.
And you got herons and kingfishers, that little water hazard on Willard
Yes,
Avenue. So
yes, yes.
always pull over to look at those and get out of the.
And the bluebirds, they've found the houses
Oh,
we've
that's
put
good
up.
to know. That's good to
The
know.
eastern bluebirds, and we have some swallows. They kind of
Yeah.
poach on the bluebird nest, but you can tell what kind of swallows they are because they swoop down just a few feet off the turf,
Yeah.
and they're catching insects
Yeah.
as they're flying. It's quite a
They're
sight.
catching the bugs on the wing, and the bluebirds will eat the bugs in the grass. So
Right.
there's sort of a symbiotic relationship between the two.
So the course is really good for birds and birdies.
Yeah, birds and birdies. I see
If you're
more
just-
birds than birdies, but that's all right.
If you're just joining us right now, this is the February program, Talk to the Mayor show. Mayor Roy Zartarian is back.
Yep.
And to the right of Roy, we see Louise Albin, who's the president of the new, is it Cafe Louise? Is that
Cafe
what we're-
Louise.
Cafe Louise,
Cafe
yes.
Louise. And of course, to her right is Ed Johnson, who's our, how long have you been the head of the golf? Are you the president of the golf course?
Yes, I'm in my 4th year.
Okay, are the McBrides still active over there?
You betcha.
Boy, oh boy, I tell you, those guys were...
You can't.
Good people.
You couldn't do it without Paul McBride and company.
It wouldn't be good to try it without
No.
Paul McBride.
He's great. He's good to the club. He's a great member, and he's just a great guy.
Yeah. Well,
And the
that's-
family's good too.
Give us an idea. I mean, just so we know what's involved. Let's say somebody wants to play golf, just go there whenever they want, like any other golf course. And what's a membership for the year, and what does that include? I know the specials on Monday and there's certain things for the town residents, but if you want to play a nice course.
It's categorized as a private golf club, but it's owned by the town. So as a result of the leasehold relationship we have with the town, the residents are allowed to play on certain times, even though they may not be full-fledged members.
Yeah.
Although I think 60 of our members are Newington residents that have graduated from playing just occasionally to becoming full-fledged members. Of course, there's a variety of membership categories: single, unlimited, limited, families, and we just got into the new one last year of young kids coming in, junior memberships.
Really?
For almost next to nothing, and it's been our largest growth. But they're the future of the game,
Right.
as well as the future of the membership. So we love to have them. The Newington golf team plays there. We love to have them, and we sponsor the Friends of Football tournament and the Parks and Rec tournament. We get involved with the Safe Graduation program, and they have some golf around that, and we donate back to the town half the greens fees from that. Parks and Rec tournament there. We're all things Newington. That's how we like to look at it. For a while, some of the Newington associations, organizations weren't coming.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out why. Well, they're all coming back, and we're having a great time with it.
Well, I tell you what I would like to see, and I don't know because I'm not really a member, but I know some of the most wonderful meetings I went to up there were with the Rotary. The Rotary had that, they were at the small room to
Their
the right.
Wednesday noon,
That
yep.
was a great place for that. I know sometimes it is difficult. Kiwanis, we have our meetings over at Paradise Pizza or Paradise Restaurant, which is right over the Newington line in New Britain, because we haven't been able to find a room that can accommodate that many people. We have guest speakers, so
Yes.
because the way they set it up over there, we're able. Do you go?
No, but you can come to our place.
Okay, so Kiwanis can talk to you and see about it. And
Absolutely.
See, the trickiest thing is you need a big room where you can kind of, have people sit around and kind of like a horseshoe, and then our guest speaker in the middle. It's tricky. But, maybe Dan Henry can look into that. That
Yeah,
could be
absolutely.
good.
Nice.
And Bob Newell, have you met Bob yet?
I've known Bob for years.
Okay.
That's the Rotary. So pull him in there.
And yes, we're hoping, we've been talking to the Rotary, and we
Great.
do want them to have their meetings back at Indian Hill.
Well, I love it because I live in that neighborhood. So having grown up with that, and there were times when it really was falling apart, where the grass had gotten yellow and it really wasn't being maintained. But I tell you, like you're saying, the last few years, and a sure sign of the spring when you drive, up Gulf Street there, which is, by the way, folks, Indian Hill Road is not how you get to Indian Hill Country Club. I just want to tell you.
That's true.
What is it, Gulf
Street.
You come down from
Gulf
Robbins,
Street.
right?
Sure, yeah.
And then is it Oak Street that runs along the golf course? Is that how it
Yeah.
works there? I think that's Oak.
Yeah.
And Oak up to Golf. And then you got Sequin off of there. You got Walnut off of there. But Indian Hill is not the way you're supposed to get to that course. And believe me, too many people stop me and ask me, how do I get to the end?
And on the other side, it's Juniper from Maple Hill.
Yeah, when you come up from the back from Maple Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to get to. But I will say, for a long time there were times, Mr. Mayor, where they talked about making it public.
Yeah.
There were all kinds of discussions, and whether or not we even should have a golf course.
Or closing it and selling it.
Yeah, no, we've heard about that a lot because it's such wonderful land.
Yeah,
And then now
and
the other
it's-
thing we've heard, and maybe you can explain this to me, is that in general, as far as golfing goes, that a lot of the people that are, let's say, in their 30s and 40s now, they're not as active in golfing as the generation before them might have been, and it's because their time is being eaten up by so much. Are you finding that? Are there ways to bring them back, or?
Well, as you study the age demographic of golf in general, but of Indian Hill Country Club in particular, I'm getting to be an old codger.
Yeah.
The history of the future of the club isn't with guys like me.
Right.
But you have the weekday members.
Yeah.
Some people work second shift maybe. They want to come in and play in the morning. So we have a weekday membership.
Yeah.
We have the junior membership. College kids can come in till they're, I think, 23 now on their parents' family membership. So it's all about engaging the families and getting people back to the game. You don't have to play 18 holes, play 9.
Yep.
Take a cart.
Yep.
And you can get
See,
through
now,
in a
could I
couple
do
of
the
hours.
cart? Could I take the cart without playing golf?
I'll join
I'm going to have to talk to you about some of the misconceptions you got here.
It's my favorite part of the game is the cart.
There's some drag racing down the fairway.
I could be a caddy that drives golfers. I just want to drive the cart.
Here's a guy talking about snowmobiling and cleats and driving the cart. Now, wait a minute
You should
here.
get thrown off with my bicycle. You're not supposed to ride a bicycle across the green.
You can also join us on our new little beverage cart, too, when that gets up and going.
Hey,
So
there
there's
you
going to be a
go.
beverage cart going around the course?
Beverage and
Yes.
snacks.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that'll be very neat.
Give them a job.
Cute
when it's,
canopy.
selling things.
Yeah.
Well, I actually used to try to go up there and caddy when I was a kid. And I was by far, the smallest caddy you'd ever seen in your life. Most of the bags were bigger than I was. But I'd still stand up there because everybody always wanted a caddy. Even when the carts were coming in, a lot of the guys still wanted a caddy. I got out once. The guy carried the bag for me and still paid. But there were a lot of guys. That was just something that everybody did. Kids could always make money that way. You don't really see that many caddies coming around anymore, do you?
Not as much.
Yeah.
I mean, the golf carts have taken over for caddies. Some clubs still have caddies available. There's a few places where caddies are required.
And some people
Not
still
around
like
here,
to walk
but-
the course.
Yeah, we have a
Well,
lot of
and-
walkers.
Isn't it also that a lot of the carts are motorized?
Yeah, the golf
The
carts.
not the golf carts.
Well,
the,
there's sort of
golf
a
bags or
well, they have these robot carts.
Really?
Yeah.
Where you can walk along and the cart will follow you.
Oh, wow.
No kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, that is wild.
Yeah.
Now, what about with Cafe Louise? We know that there's always been a great reputation up there at Indian Hill for doing the larger events, like the banquets and the weddings and all that kind of thing. How are we doing as far as booking those events out now that it's all new ownership?
I'm working with Ryan Marketing out of West Hartford because there's so many components to Cafe Louise
Okay.
Enterprises now.
Yeah.
So we are starting to book. We did book a wedding with the gazebo.
Great.
That's happening in June. We are getting lots of inquiries. So
good.
this time of
Good.
year, it's
Good.
showers, baptism,
Yeah.
First Holy Communions.
Yeah.
So it is coming in. So we're doing our homework, and it's starting to come in.
I know my sister, gosh, they got married up at the country club back in 1974. That was one of the big places to go to. You know, when you got, that was a great place for that. And of course, so many different events. That room is just wonderful.
Right.
You know,
We do a lot of outings too. Usually Tuesdays are booked up with outings from outside groups. A lot of not-for-profit organizations come in and they do fundraisers using the golf, obviously the golf venue as a fundraiser. They have dinner and afterwards have a great time. So.
And the high schools, we've already done banquets for like volleyball,
Friends of football?
the sports banquets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boy, that's terrific.
So that's coming in, and also tying in and meeting some of the Newington High School teachers and doing retirement banquets that they're booking with us. So, and also, I have a large client base for just Cafe Louise offsite catering since I've been in business for 24 years.
Wow.
So now,
Has that been your primary thing, or is
Yeah.
this your first restaurant, or have you had other restaurants, or what?
I do have a storefront on New Britain Avenue in the Elmwood section of West Hartford,
Okay.
which I'm turning back into sort of a grab-and-go
Okay.
little cafe. It was a cafe when I first opened 24 years ago for just a couple of years, and then I went strictly with the catering. So, but it's tiny, only seating for 12.
All right. Well, before we let you go, just give us phone numbers, emails, phone numbers, websites, Facebook. What have you folks got?
Everything. So for the club, for Cafe Louise bookings, it's 860-666-5600. www.cafelouise.com.
Okay.
We also have a link on the Indian Hill Country.
Yep, it's www.ihcgolf.com, and Louise does have a link on that website.
Okay.
Yep.
And you folks are on Facebook too, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Cafe Louise.
And also in
And Instagram and Twitter and,
all that cool stuff. Good.
Got to be there today. You're
So-
not
And,
with the
let's
program.
not forget, especially if you're watching live, this coming Thursday, the
Thursday.
16th, is the grand opening, the ribbon cutting.
And what time will the ribbon cutting be?
5 to 7 p.m.
It's 5 to 7, ribbon cutting at
At
6.
6.
Yep.
Come for a glass of wine and some hors d'oeuvres.
Terrific.
See the place. We'll give
Pick up a
tours.
business card, take a look at the sample menus, book an event, make this place a big success,
Good stuff.
Thank
make
you.
Newington a
stuff.
destination.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll be there to welcome you.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing you.
And again,
Come on over.
just before we let you go, Ed, as far as for the citizens and the seniors of Newington, how does that set up as far as what we're able to do? You said Monday and Tuesday. What are the things there?
Well, let me give you the phone number of the office, because
Okay,
that's
go
the
ahead.
easiest way. It's 860
Yep.
665
Yep.
7817.
Okay.
Andrea is the office manager. She'll let the people that call know how to get their resident cards.
Yep.
She takes care of the seniors. They'll start trooping in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
If you want a membership question, call Andrea. She'll direct you to the PGA professional if you have questions like that. But the best thing to do is call the golf club office or go on the website. There's a lot of information there, but there's always somebody there to answer the phone.
And there's all kinds of special treatment for the seniors. Like you said, the seniors play every Monday?
Every Monday. Residents play Mondays afternoons, Tuesday afternoons, later on Saturdays, later on Sundays. So there's pretty much golf for anybody from the town almost any time. We'd like to have the police and fire and the teachers come. We'll give them a special deal on that
That'd be
as well.
That'd be terrific.
What about instruction for novices? Do you offer that?
We sure do. In fact, we have some town clinics. There's a women's clinic, and there's a young person's clinic that's sponsored by the Parks and Rec.
Okay.
I don't think there's any charge for that either. If it is, it's nominal. Yeah, that's come right
Now,
up.
have you been a member up there for a long time, Ed, or did you just get involved 4 years ago for your
No,
first time?
I'm a newbie, 12 years probably. But, yeah,
What's the trickiest hole out there?
The trickiest hole is probably the 7th hole, because the green is vicious.
Oh, really?
So it makes it the trickiest
A
hole.
lot of different turns and stuff. Too.
And I think the hole cutters have a vendetta against the players because they always find the worst place for
How
pin
often
placement.
do they move the holes?
Every day.
Really?
Oh,
During
wow.
the season. They move them every day during the season. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So nobody can have a good.
Nah. And if they're not feeling good, they want to get back at you. It's a problem.
Now I understand they've talked in the past, and I don't think it can happen now. But wasn't there some discussion about adding another 9 holes? Like
It can't happen now because the Eddy Farm is protected.
from
that's
the,
right.
And
the
that's,
town.
the golf course is actually protected too by the purchase and sale agreement that was signed, I think, in 1962. So there's only certain things that can be done with that property. If it wasn't a golf course, it couldn't become a condo complex, as an example.
And the Eddy Farm can't be developed because the town bought the development rights
That's right,
from
that's
the
right,
Eddy
right.
family.
That's right.
They own the farm, but we have the development
Yeah.
rights.
That's good.
Nice.
All right, good stuff. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you
It was
coming
our
in.
pleasure. Our pleasure.
And again,
Don't forget the grand opening and ribbon cutting.
Thursday night,
Thursday
night.
5 to 7.
5 to 7. Be there. pick
Be
up
there
the
or be
business
square, as the
Yes.
saying
And,
goes.
the best of luck with Cafe Louise. And,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Come
I
and
think
join
it's great
us.
that you're talking to Bob and talking to the rest of the crew over there. Maybe get Dan Henry to talk a little bit. Boy, it would be wonderful to be able to bring Kiwanis back in too.
Yeah.
But it's just great to be able to see things, new growth in Newington there.
Yeah, and Andy Brecker has
yeah.
been wonderful resource from the
Yeah.
Good.
from the get-go.
From the
Good.
town, yeah, he's helpful to me too.
Yeah, great guy.
All right, folks. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Very
Got to
much.
get in.
Thank you for
Just,
being back.
you
See
might want to
you again,
unclip
Ed.
yourself there
Oops.
from your mic before you try to
Thank
leave, or actually maybe our crew can help you out there
Yeah,
too. Watch
they-
out for. Make sure you don't fall over.
Yeah,
and
they get
we'll
a
get you
little
taken care of.
testy if you walk
Because the
off
mayor
of
and I
their
have to
mics.
get into some pretty dark issues, like what's really going on around town.
Okay, here comes Mike Rosenkrantz, ready to disconnect you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
if you would like to call, I know it is. We have had some phone issues, so I'm not promising anything. But
yeah, I tried calling last month and just got all sorts of static.
It's
It was terrible.
brutal. I don't know where we're at. Do we have phones going tonight? I don't know. 860-667-5814. It's unpredictable, but if for some reason they can't get you through to us on the air, they'll get the question and they'll pass the question along to us. So 860-667-5814. 667-5814. What do you got?
They do have a question up on the screen for us about our next show.
Okay, our next show is going to
And
be.
I've got the budget review schedule right in front of me.
So March 13th is the next show because
March
you've got a
thir-
budget meeting.
on March 6th.
Okay,
That's
okay.
good. So once again, we do the second Monday rather than the first Monday.
And now we're at 7, but we might as well do it on Tuesday. We used to do it like every Tuesday each month.
Well, Tuesday the 7th is tied up. So is Tuesday the 14th.
So tell us what we're really facing now. You came back into this. You've been trying to be on top of it. Where do you see if we're going to have to make some cuts, or where we at?
Waiting to see the town manager's proposed budget. That's where it starts. Tanya and Ann Harder, the finance director, have been living and breathing this budget. It is coming to the council on Friday, March 3rd. That's when it becomes public. Then I know nothing about it at this point. Don't want to know. I want to.
So when you say it comes to the council, and that'll be an open meeting, and they discuss what it is.
The budget will be publicly released at that point, and then we begin our review the following Monday. So instead of sitting here with the nice folks watching me, I'll be upstairs. No, actually, I'll be across the hall, and we'll be reviewing the budget, starting the review. And that goes from the beginning of March through the end of March. March 28th, we're setting a tentative budget. We've got 2 mandated public hearings. These are by charter. Public hearing on the manager's proposed budget will be on Tuesday, March 14th at 6 p.m. And then the public hearing on the council's tentative budget will be on Tuesday, April 4th at 6 p.m. Then we have school vacation, and after that, council meets on April 18th, Tuesday, April 18th, in a special meeting. to adopt the budget and set the mill rate.
Okay, so when should we have it all hopefully agreed upon?
Hopefully
Middle of
by the
April?
18th,
Okay.
or depends on what happens with the public hearing on the council tentative
Now, these
budget.
are things where we have to talk about, like the town hall renovation and all those kind of things. That
Town hall renovation is moving at a fairly good clip. My information from the building committee is that we are still on track for a referendum in June on it. The architect has been selected. The committee has worked on selecting a construction manager, and I believe we'll be making a recommendation to the council at tomorrow night's meeting. So we'll be moving forward with that just to keep things going. I've got a good feeling about this building committee. I think this is the one where we're finally going to get it all right.
boy, oh boy, I tell you, this is like going around and around and
Oh,
around.
it has. This has been going on far too long, but I think we got the magic combination going now, and we'll begin to see some real action, assuming everything's in place to get it to referendum, and assuming the referendum passes.
Now, what about the overall state of our, the schools in town, the equipment in town, the police cars, the fire trucks? How about all that stuff? Have we got things that need to be updated? We know about.
We maintain a regular replacement schedule on rolling stock for things like cruisers, highway vehicles. Once cruisers go offline, they're repainted, reassigned to staff that department use, other town departments.
Yep.
Keep on top of that. We've got a top-notch vehicle maintenance facility at the highway department. They keep everything running tip-top shape. Schools, the big issue is Anna Reynolds right now, the last one for renovation.
So they pretty much have gone through most of the schools, but that's the one that's still
that's the
hanging out
one
there.
that's left.
Yeah.
There is talk, of course, that the council does not care about Anna Reynolds. Nothing could be further
Oh,
from
come
the
on.
truth.
They got to care. I'm sure they do.
We want to get town hall out of the way first, up and running. Then we're moving right on to Reynolds after that. I mean, there are other projects in the hopper.
God, I can't believe it.
Library is looking to expand. Churchill Pool House needs major work.
Oh, yeah, they were talking about that.
They're between the mechanicals
Yeah.
dying and ADA compliance. That's some big bucks there. Some of the firehouses need work. It's either chimneys or heating plants, one or the other. I don't remember exactly.
Yep.
So, it never ends, but you really got to stay on top of this stuff. You keep putting off
It
major
kills you.
repairs,
Kills
things
you.
like that. You end up with a town hall, you know. I mean...
That's what happens when people don't want to see their taxes go up, and then you don't repair anything for long enough, and soon enough, you got to pay the piper.
Yeah, the roof got deferred year after year after year. And now we're really paying the price for it.
Now, has the governor pulled back a lot of money from us, or what?
Well, that's interesting because he's using. I've got something here that came, it's either from the state or from CCM, Connecticut Conference of Municipalities.
Yep.
And if you go through the list of towns, you see just about everybody's losing money in the governor's proposed budget. Newington's up just about $180,000. But again, as I mentioned earlier, I still think that's play money because that $180,000 figure is based on our receiving somehow about $2 million in hospital property taxes, assuming that the tax exemption for hospital properties is repealed by this legislature.
Now, the hospital properties, is that like VA and also like Hartford Hospital, or what are we looking at?
Well, VA is federal.
Okay.
It would be Hartford Hospital primarily. I still think that's an awfully high figure for the Hartford Hospital property. I haven't been able to track it down yet. But that was one of the key features of the budget. The governor's proposed budget was removing the exemption for hospital properties. What's that going to do for the average citizen? Well, There go medical costs. That cost is going to be passed on to the
Yep.
patient,
Yep.
to the insurance companies, and ultimately to the individuals. We and all the other towns and cities in the state are being hit with a piece of the teachers' retirement contribution. In Newington's case, that's about $3.5 million we hadn't counted on. We've got also the possibility of getting hit with an extra assessment from the Metropolitan District in the event Hartford defaults, to build up a reserve fund to protect the MDC.
Oh, okay.
And that, and I'm working off the top of my head, is between $700,000 and $800,000, which is a major budget hit.
Wow.
A major budget hit. I think I can safely say we'll be drawing the line in the sand on anything like that. We will not go gently into that good night.
All right, if you're just joining us, we've got a few more minutes left. If you'd like to send a note or give us a call, 860-667-5814. And if you don't get through to us, just give the message to whoever answers the phone. They'll pass that question along to us. 860-667-5814, a little bit before 8 o'clock on the second Monday, this being Monday the 13th of February. And we are live right now, just a little before 8 o'clock. So feel free to call with the questions, or 860-667-5814. Our next show is going to be on March 13th, which will be the second Monday again. in the month, because that'll make everybody's life a lot easier.
Everybody's going to be confused by the time we go back to the first Monday.
So how are we doing right now? How's our council getting along? I mean, we hear all kinds of things. Is it the left and the right both getting along in there? Or
Yeah, we
is there
seem to be-
infighting, kicking, biting? Or
Well, we disagree, but we disagree civilly
okay, good,
and
good,
with
good.
respect,
Okay, good, good, good.
which is the way it should be. We've got a meeting tomorrow night. That's assuming you're watching live.
If you are watching live right now on the 13th of February,
Yes, and what have we got going? We're going to be taking action on applying for a state historic preservation grant to do a structural analysis of the house at the Deming Young Farm.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that is town property. The town owns that.
Yep.
Deming Young Foundation, under an agreement with the town, operates it, maintains
They've done
it.
a beautiful job, though, bringing that house back. What a
They have.
fantastic place.
They could use help.
Yep, yep.
Fiscal and otherwise. So
They also said now, I don't know, they said that inside that barn is a house, too.
yeah, apparently something's been knocked down and put in there, stored in there. Yeah, I haven't been in there in a while, so I don't know.
That's all part of so the Deming Farm people must know about it, the
Yeah,
association
yeah.
or foundation or
And,
whatever, right?
There was some barn expert
A barn expert, huh?
last year who came around. Apparently the barn has some interesting features to it, historic features. I thought barn is a barn, but
No, don't start that. That's like saying a bird is a bird.
I
You're
know,
a birding expert, you know?
I know. It's but it's been secured right now and stabilized, and see how it goes with that.
I tell you something, that whole area there, the nature walks
Yeah.
around there and up through the woods and all,
Yeah.
oh my God, absolutely
amazing
beautiful.
amazing place.
Yeah, and I know there was, I think it was all squared away, but there had been an NDC problem over there, but they did a lot of pipes over in that area or something.
That was Church Street.
Yeah, yeah.
There was Church Street work by the MDC. MDC arranged with the town to use a piece of that property as a staging and parking area for its heavy equipment. And then there was an issue about missing topsoil,
Oh, God.
soil gate.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, and
That turned out to be fine. Nothing funky was going on there.
No, we don't think so. I mean, we had to hire a soil scientist to go in and take a look at it.
Because they thought people were taking the soil and selling the soil or whatever.
And putting back
Bad soil.
bad soil.
So taking the good stuff.
So that was a lesson learned for all of us. Too much had been done either by email or handshake or conversation. If it ever happens again, everything's going to be down in writing, and step 1, step 2, step 3, and that's it.
And we got people that are interested. Like right now, we have TGI Friday is empty on the Berlin Turnpike. The old Verizon is empty. Are there people that are looking at possibly coming into town, or what do you hear?
Always people interested in coming into town. Turnpike is a destination,
Yep.
a retail destination. And Walmart's been there for several years. They just did a major interior remodeling, had a grand reopening. I was there for that. We've got Wooden Tap.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful, isn't
Wooden
it?
Tap's a beautiful place. So yeah, if you really want to find out, come to State of the Town, which will be a week
Oh, yeah.
from Thursday.
Excuse me, I just got somebody threw something at me. It's not TGI Fridays is fine. Ruby Tuesdays
Ruby
is what it
Tuesdays.
meant. I get my Tuesdays and my
Yeah.
Fridays confused all the time.
Oh, here it is. State of the Town is going to be. That's when it's due. Let's see. She doesn't have the date here.
So that we're due for a State of the Town.
That's next week, a week from Thursday.
And where's that going to be held?
That's going to be in the high school cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
It's a breakfast meeting sponsored by the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Tanya Lane, the town manager, and I will both be speaking.
Yeah.
And breakfast is prepared by the culinary arts students. It's
Oh, wonderful.
always very good.
Yeah.
I recommend the breakfast highly. Last year, my debut, I managed to pop the button off my blazer after eating too much bacon before I got up to speak.
Boy, they're doing some great work over there at the
Oh,
school,
yeah.
too. They've got
Yeah.
that whole media area that's
Yeah.
coming in and a lot of good stuff.
Yep. So that's that's coming up. That is coming up.
And now, who goes to that? Who speaks at that?
It's primarily chamber members, other interested citizens. It's open.
And you will speak? You will
I will
address, let
speak,
people know?
and
Yeah.
Tanya will speak. And good time will be had by all.
That'll be good. And that's going to be on the 21st, February 21st?
Whatever a week from Thursday is.
Oh, Thursday. Okay.
16th, 23rd.
Oh, the 23rd. Okay. So
23rd.
Thursday, what time in the morning?
Starts at about 7:30, 7:45. Best bet is to contact the Chamber of Commerce office in the center. Talk to Gail Whitney. She'll be more than happy to take your money and sign you up.
So they're more than, it is open to the public then? Not a
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now, what about in town? We see some exciting things going on. How's this new, what's it, cupcakes or cake place? What's that place?
Little Cake.
How's that doing over there?
It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped in, I met the people, very nice.
Yeah, they had a very nice ribbon cutting last fall. Great food.
I've been hearing some good things about roosters. That's good. Yeah?
Yeah, one of these, maybe in the spring, Scott and I are going to get together with a camera. We're going to walk and hit all the eateries in the center.
Oh, nice. That'd be great.
And do a program. Scott likes that.
You're going to go eat all the food just to, it's
Sample.
obviously have to sample. Just
That's
to-
right. That's
yeah,
right. Give each one a little plug and give you a nice show to.
That's good. As opposed to just having them come in and parade all the food in front of
That's
everybody and all the
right.
volunteers here at
That's
Channel
right.
14. While I'm speaking of the volunteers, I have to
Yes.
make sure before we go that I do
Yes.
thank our volunteers.
Hear,
because
hear.
Sometimes
Hear,
we
hear.
run out of time because we do generally our monthly meeting is the last Thursday of every month here. I think it's at 7 o'clock. And you just come down to NCTV 14 if you have any ideas for programs or if you'd like to become a volunteer, you'd like to say, how can I get involved? Pretty much an open meeting at 7 o'clock. And we try to get, the new stuff out of the way in the beginning, so we won't keep you here the whole night for a lot of the stuff that you don't really need to sit here and listen to. But it's going to be the last Thursday of each month. Come on down. Our studios are in the lower part of the town hall. You'll see the entrance to the left of us is the police station, and then off to the right, the municipal building. You go through those doors, you take a right, and you'll see Channel 14 there. So come on down for that. We're always looking for more volunteers like these great ones that I'm about to mention to you right now. Okay, special thanks to Ellen Schiller. Ellen's been here a long time. You can go home tonight, Ellen. Michael Rosenkrantz, Scott Allo, John Donahue, Scott Wiskowski's here, Vicki Rosenkrantz, Andrew. Did I get it? Lagoon? Lagoon? I got it. Andrew's helping us out, and he's nodding his head back and forth. I got that right. Lagoon?
Beach.
Andrew?
Laguna.
Laguna. Okay, thank you. Andrew Laguna, who's, I think, you go to CCSU or you just wearing a sweatshirt? Okay. And we also have Brendan LaChance. Brendan, of course, and Corey were both had helped out here a lot. Corey I just saw the other day. He's a great family man now. He's growing up there real fast. And I said, how did you turn out to be such a good guy? You must have wonderful parents. And he said it was hanging out with me, which I don't think is right. But it's great to see that. And we want to, please, more volunteers. The more we can get, the better. But it's just, it's hard to do. You know, it's very difficult to find time these days. So we do ask that. And more input and more creative ideas, please. Yeah, really, really good. Now, what are you looking forward to as we come into March? What are some of the concerns? Obviously, the budget. But what are other things?
St. Patrick's Day Parade
Okay.
in Hartford on Saturday, March 11th.
I think Sandy Piltz is our honorary Irishman of the Year.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
And along that, I'll plug the fundraiser for that parade that's coming up on Saturday, February 18th, 2 to 6 p.m.
That's
to
this
Knights of
coming
Columbus
Saturday?
on Pascone Place.
Oh, really?
It's a pub night, even though it's in the afternoon. $20 admission.
And get corned beef and stuff, I
You
suppose.
gotta
eh?
get whatever they have there, you bet.
I bet that'll be all for the parade. That'll be wonderful.
Yeah, it's all benefits the parade. I'm hearing something.
Sandy Piltz and Marge McDonald are the
Yes,
Irish People
all right.
of the Year. Thank you very much. That's I talked to Sandy. We got to get together. I was the Irish Person of the Year back a long time ago.
2 minutes. Scott Groskowski is telling us there's 2 minutes left.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
So I will mention, since we're talking about St. Patrick's Day, that you know that the Armenians are mentioned in an Irish litany of pilgrim saints that's been dated to the 9th or 10th century A.D., which I thought was rather interesting.
You would.
Yes, sir.
You're a walking history book.
There was a lot more going on in those early days than we tend to think, with crusades and trade and everything else. So,
Yeah, well, people really, the history of Newington is incredible. In fact, that's a whole nother show. We can bring in all kinds of experts. We got some great historic people here. But we will be back on again for the Talk to the Mayor program on the second Monday in March 13th. And don't forget, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so you get out there and
Valentine's Day.
And make sure you get out there and you love somebody special, because that's what makes the world go round. It's all about the love. So don't forget it. And even if it's just a matter of, just going over and telling that special person in your life, or in my case, people and furry babies. I have 4-legged furry babies that I count on a lot. So that it's all when it's St. Valentine's Day coming up. That'll be a biggie.
Yes.
And then, of course, just around the corner from that, we've got, aren't we getting ready to get the Little League season going soon?
That should be starting late April, early May.
Yeah, but I mean, they start doing the meetings and everything now, and then having the lunches and the breakfast and all that stuff. And all the fields, are our fields in good shape for this year, do you know?
They should be.
Okay, we'll have to get Bill DeMayo to come back in and give us an update. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Talk to the Mayor program. I'm Steve Parker. He's your mayor, Roy Zartarian. Welcome back, Roy. I want to
Thank you, Steve. It's great to be back, believe me.
It's great to be seeing you upright and taking
You
nutrition.
betcha.
All right, we'll see you next time on NCTV 14. Back again on the 13th of March. Have a good night. And,
Night, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Don't forget, guys, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Buy the roses, buy the candy.
And eat the candy, not the roses. All right.